Bookstackers. Today is our spoiler-free review of Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. It's a story about six people. I'm gonna be cutting this. Six Do you want to do the blurb? We've got the giggles. Oh, it's fine. Six of Crows is a story about six different people. They're all kind of criminals, or they've run in with shady people, and so basically this is the situation that they're in. And Kaz, who's sort of the ringleader, is offered a large sum of money to go on this heist, and so he gets together all the people that he thinks would be best for the job, and then they kind of go on their journey, and yeah, the story is basically what takes place on that journey at the heist, how it all goes down, and it's really intense and real good. It's got a lot of humour through it, a lot of dark humour, so that kind of alleviates the seriousness of the situation. Yeah. It's pretty dark. What were your first thoughts on this? It was funny, but also dark, and all the characters have their own motivations. You're real giggly today. Oh my god. I don't know what it is. It's a real dark book, guys. Okay, initial thoughts, go. I'm crying. Oh. Well, my initial thoughts were that I really liked it, and the world was super immersive, so it was really easy to get into, and I didn't hate any of the characters. Are you right? As a book, that's what it is. You're really perceptive. A+, 5 stars. Oh my god. The book, very dark, great humour. It's a good time. It's gonna be a long video. You're crying. Do you want a tissue? I'll get you a tissue. It's a tissue. Do you want a glass of water as well? Yeah, okay. There you go. Yeah. Well, you still haven't done your initial thoughts. Swallow. Do you want to do this video alone? I'm thinking about it. My initial thoughts were I really enjoyed the world that it takes part in. I really enjoyed the characters and learning about their different motivations. What did you think of the writing style? I really enjoyed it. The point of view switching I found kind of similar to how it was in the Raven Cycle, and the way that you learn about the characters as it goes along through their interactions with other characters and things. I really liked the writing style as well because it didn't feel like she was filling time. Everything felt like it was meant to be there, and it had a purpose, and it served the story or the characters in their growth, and I really liked that. And with the point of view switching as well, it was really good because all the characters kind of were so fully fledged that it didn't feel really jarring. It kind of felt like, oh yeah, this character has finished his piece, now we're seeing this person's point of view. And she did it in a way that meant that you didn't find out certain things that characters knew. So a character would have a revelation, but right before they told you what it was, it would switch to a different character's point of view who wouldn't be able to find that out. And you're like, dang it! It kind of left you trying to connect things from the different point of views. You'd learn something from Kaz's point of view, and then it'd go to Inej's, and you're sort of trying to see if she noticed what he'd realized, and or if it's hinted at in her point of view. So it was kind of like a mystery as well, trying to figure out all the different characters. And I like how unique the story was. This was really unique because it was kind of a bit more dark and a bit more gritty, and it was more about kind of action and adventure and this plot that, they're trying to pull off, which is meant to be impossible. And all the stuff that goes wrong and all the stuff that goes right, and it's just very exciting, and the stakes feel very high in this book, which I loved. I was there for it. One of the main themes. Loyalty, did we say? Yeah, loyalty. The loyalty between characters, between where they come from, between family, that sort of thing. Yeah, and the sort of integrity and sacrifices and... revenge came into it. It was more like justice. Justice. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word. Dictionaries, thesaurus. Those are sort of the main themes, and they were all kind of sprinkled throughout. So there wasn't one theme that kind of triumphed over other, like, it didn't feel like she was going like, the theme is integrity, today we're learning this. This book was really good because it had a bunch of themes and then sub-themes, and it depended on which point of view you were in, depended which theme was kind of the most prominent, and I really liked that because it made it feel way more real and less like it was a made-up story.
I think in regards to how it was paced, it went really well.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it rushed through anything, because a lot of little different things happen, but the main thing that happens in this is the heist. But that takes up, like, the majority of the book.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed how it was paced.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't too much happening. It was all technically for the one thing, but they were separate things. But you weren't, like, overwhelmed with information.
Yeah.
But you also were, like, really still sucked into the story and wanting to find out what happens.
I think one of the clever things that Leigh Bardugo did is that at the end of each chapter would kind of leave a cliffhanger or some new questions that you had. And so it made you want to keep reading, and it sort of kept that pace going. Like, it never really sort of halted or felt like it was put off unless she'd specifically intended it like that. Having the cliffhangers at the end of chapters really helped the pacing at the end, because it just, the stakes just felt so high and you felt like so much anticipation for what was going to happen. Like, I couldn't stop reading it at that last bit because I didn't know who was going to make it, who wasn't, who was with who was on the good side, who was on the bad side, what even was that? It's just intense.
It was really intense towards the end, especially because you were trying to figure out, like, oh, how is this going to end?
Yeah. And I think all the characters were very clever as well. So they all kind of had their own agendas going on as well in the midst of it. And so it was sort of seeing who was going to sacrifice that, who was going to change it, and who was like, nope, that's happening.
Yeah, watching the characters' motivations kind of stay true to, like, the general, like, what they wanted out of this, but also changing to fit the scenario and what they'd experienced along the way.
But yeah, there are definitely some, like, major players in the characters, and they, like, witness something that suddenly just changes their point of view.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, there's one character who you'll find out about and just, work some stuff out, and we're proud of that.
Yeah.
Proud of the baby.
We're proud of all the babies.
All the babies. Who was your favourite character?
I'm, like, caught between Nina and Jesper, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, Jesper's just a fun little dude. And he's just there to have a good time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't really have a motivation aside from his loyalty to Kaz.
Yeah.
He was just there like, yeah, I'll do this. Cool.
Yeah, I really like Nina, just because she was just so strong and funny and went through some crap and was just like...
And was still ready to be like, no, I will help people.
Yeah, she was great.
So...
Did enjoy Nina's quips as well. She's very funny. So who would recommend this book to?
People who like historical fiction. If you liked The Raven Cycle, you'll probably like this. Action, adventure.
I reckon if you didn't like The Raven Cycle as well, you're still probably gonna like it.
Yeah, because it is pretty different.
Yeah. I think it's just... This book is really good. If you love, like, adventure stories, this is such a good adventure story. And if you love really strong characters... There's really strong characters. There's just, like, not a bad word that I can say about this. Like, it's really good.
Yeah. I gave this book 5 gunny boys.
5 gunny boys for the criminals. Ba ba ba. Ba ba. Yeah, so I gave this 5 gunny boys as well. Just because I think it's just a well-rounded, really good book. The writing's amazing. The characters are great. The story's really interesting and compelling. Like... I would read this again. So if you've read this book, we'd love if you go over to our discussion of the book and continue commenting down below in there and telling us, you know, your thoughts and all that sort of stuff. We kind of want to keep the comments from here spoiler free. And let us know if you're planning on reading this book or not and why you're excited to read it. We'd love to know. We'd love to know.
Hat time.
Hat time. Da-da-da.
Why did I place it so far away?
My turn.
Your depth perception is horrible.
Okay, we're reading Jane Eyre.
Cool. It's a classic. Neither of us have read it. I have not read many classics. I read Frankenstein in school.
Same.
Read some Shakespeare in school.
Love Shakespeare.
Read like half of Dracula, but I had to give the book back.
Read half of Dracula too.
Yeah. Did you borrow the book from us too?
Yeah. So that review is probably going to be out in January, just because we've got a few videos for Christmas planned out, like specifically book-themed Christmassy ones. So we're going to do those. And then that book will come out in January, because we're quite busy, yeah. Yeah, and hopefully next time Alex won't
Leave me
you know,
alone.
cry from laughter. We hope you enjoyed this spoiler review, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.